All right, folks, without further ado, let's get this show continuing. Tom Leonard, Representative Tom Leonard, he represents District 93 in the Michigan House of Representatives. You want to talk about another state and another state lawmaker who really had to do the good fight right in his backyard there against Progressives for Workers' Rights. I love this. All of these different states, every state takes its turn going forward on different issues, and that's why I love showcasing these state lawmakers, state and local lawmakers. Folks, this is where it's at. This is like your farm league for going forward for national office as well. So these folks really take a different level of heat. Representative Leonard was first elected in November 2012. He serves as the vice chair of the House Insurance Committee, and he sits on the House Commerce, Judiciary, Oversight, and Michigan Competitiveness Committee. Please help me welcome Representative Tom Leonard.
Baby, a song you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Good morning, CPAC. Thank you so much for having me. Greetings from the great state of Michigan, America's 24th right-to-work state. Or, as my colleagues and I back home like to say, a freedom-to-work state. Who would have ever thought a Michigan legislator could stand here before you today and proclaim that Michigan is a freedom-to-work state? I cannot tell you how proud I am to be here to share with you many of the great things that have taken place in Michigan over the past 3 years. Under conservative leadership, unemployment is down 4%. $20 billion of long-term debt and liability has been eliminated and erased from our books. And major reforms have been implemented that now hold all state workers and local units of government accountable to the hardworking taxpayers of our state. Michigan Republicans have also taken the lead on education reform that was so needed for so many years. We passed landmark teacher tenure reform that now holds every teacher accountable to the children in their classroom. We lifted the charter school cap and expanded online learning, giving parents and children more choice in education. However, we have a long way to go. And as our conservative members like to say back home, good is never good enough when it comes to the hardworking taxpayers of our state, especially when it comes to addressing our failing schools. Within weeks of taking office as a state representative, I had the opportunity to visit a school in Detroit that required state intervention because the teachers and the administration there had failed its students so miserably. I was absolutely appalled when I saw the photos of the 32,000 pounds of trash that had to be removed from that school, including textbooks that were over 20 years old, wrapped in plastic, and had never been used. I learned that of over 800 students in that school before the intervention, only 15, let me repeat myself, 15, not 15%, could pass a proficiency test. And get this, 2/3 of third graders in that school prior to the intervention could not identify one letter in the alphabet. I will never forget asking one young girl whether her situation was better before or after the intervention, and her response broke my heart. She said, "Sir, it's so much better today because now I actually get hand soap and toilet paper when I use the restroom." And guess what? The left has fought us every step of the way. I was recently contacted by a dear friend of mine who teaches elementary students. And like so many of the other teachers that she teaches with, she's one of the great ones who has the best interests of the students at heart. She recently received an email from one of her union bosses telling her and the rest of the teachers that she serves with why they should stay within their union. And the number one reason given to them? Spite. To spite Governor Rick Snyder and the Republican-led legislature who had given them the ability to choose. My friends, addressing our failed education system is, let me repeat, is the civil rights issue of our day. We owe it to our children, and we owe it to the hardworking taxpayers of this great country. Just a few weeks before being asked to speak to you, somebody asked me, Tom, what is it that drives you to be a conservative? You heard it here today. I wake up every day, and I am motivated by the young girl I met in that school that day. I am inspired by my friend, who is one of the great teachers, but is constantly fighting her union bosses on the left for her freedom to choose, who are more concerned about the adults instead of the children in the classroom. And I tell you, my colleagues and I back home, we will not stop until every child is receiving a quality education and until every employee in the state of Michigan knows and understands they have the freedom to choose. Especially those who have to choose between the adults and the children in the classroom. My friends, thank you again so much for having me. Thank you for all you do. Keep up the great fight. God bless.